So let's talk about hip extension. That is the motion of basically moving your leg or your hamstrings and your quad away from your hips. Now, a lot of people these days, modern era, complain of lower back pain. Unless you've actually had some kind of external trauma, I'm talking a sports injury, a car accident or anything like that, most of the lower back drama that can be experienced can be put down to two things: mobility, so your ability to actually get some motion through your joints and through your limbs, so tightness in essence, and number two, strength and connectivity. Basically, connectivity, your muscles just don't know how to work. You're spending so much time in a set position, in a certain movement pattern, that when you try to introduce something else, your body's just not used to it. So what we're going to try and teach you is a very, what I call a mother move. It's very, very essential in the gym, and I always use this in all my initial sessions. Basically, if I can teach you this properly, and we can start to load this to an effective height and weight, then we can progress through a lot of other things, and I can be confident to leave a lot of clients and members on their own and be comfortable that they're going to be hitting the muscles they need to hit, be protecting their lower back, and obviously getting a great workout with it at the same time. So we're looking at the Romanian deadlift. A conventional deadlift, picking it up off the floor and standing up with it. Now, a Romanian deadlift is almost like that, except we're going to start in a standing position. We're going to lower the bar to a massive stretch on the hamstrings, and that's probably going to be above the ground level. We're not going to touch the ground there. Most people don't have that flexibility. And then we're going to be standing back up with a glute contraction. Now, I'll do the best I can to obviously coach this here in the gym. Any dramas you have, obviously, feel free to ask your trainer or an experienced gym member, and we'll see what we can do in terms of fixing it for you and getting this movement really sound. So if we come here, we've got an empty bar. Now, it's really worth saying that regardless of whether you've got an empty bar, a stick, 2 kilo dumbbells in your hand, or whether maybe the bar is loaded with 200 kilos, the movement should in essence almost look the same. Of course, with a heavy weight, you're going to be pulled out of function a little bit, but if you've got the confidence and the connectivity to know what you're doing, that's not going to be a massive drama with your form and your technique. Excuse the way I'll pick this up. So we're going to start by teaching the Romanian deadlift with a barbell, just a straight barbell. Now, this is what the movement looks like before we actually go ahead and we coach it. Down to the big stretch, come back through. Stretch, come back through. Now, getting down there is a lot easier said than done, because most people go there and start going through this motion and instantly, ouch, my lower back, that's all they feel. Now, we need to get around that. We need to find an efficient way to get you down to the bottom, learn for you to connect with your hamstrings, and then bring you back up and have your back not do all the work. So this is the best way I know how. Again, easier said than done. Start with your feet shoulder width apart, turn them out the tiniest little bit. That helps open your hips up. First motion, break your knees slightly. Like that. Very minuscule, you'll see that right there. Not a lot of movement. Biggest thing, don't break at the same time. That's going to instantly load our back. Not what we want. We need to turn that off. Break at the knees. From here, this is the hardest part, is learning to efficiently now bring your hips in. Knees, then start bringing those hips in to get yourself down. The whole time that back should end up straight. You shouldn't feel yourself break and then just bend. It's not right. Your back's loading, your back's doing some work there. So we're going to break. We're going to take our time coming down. You should feel that hamstring stretch. Now this is going to be different for everybody. It might be here, it might be all the way down here, depending upon flexibility. For me, mine's just underneath my knees. To get back up, we are squeezing glutes. You can see my glutes trying to squeeze there. Squeezing glutes to bring you through. We don't want to be just here and then go, oh, okay, the work's done, and just stand up and have a massive arch in our back. You've got to realise these things. Your body's always searching for stability somewhere. If you can't load effectively where you want to load, then your back's going to take over. Because your back, that's your body's default response. And number two, you've got to realise this exercise is a lot harder than it looks. Obviously, while talking and using the empty bar, I'm going to be a bit shorter of breath, but this exercise takes a lot of focus. If you're doing it right, it has a very strong almost cardiovascular feel to it from the amount of tightness and tension you have to keep in your body. So key takeaway points: number 1, start upright. Number 2, break at the knees slightly first. From there, no more knee angle. Everything now comes from those hips. And number 3, we're going down to that stretch of the hamstrings. You want to feel the back of your legs on the way down, all the way to the bottom, almost shaking at the bottom in a sense. And as you're standing back up, you want to be squeezing those glutes. I'll tell you one thing, your ass is not going to work by itself. You've actually got to connect with it. Most people don't know how to use their butt, hence why their lower back hurts so much. You've actively got to squeeze and focus and squeeze up. The higher you come, the more your glutes should contract. That's the Romanian deadlift. It leads us into a lot of other exercises. This we need to master before we move on.